The restaurant glowed with golden chandeliers, laughter floating in the air like music. But at one corner table, beneath the soft hum of violins, a woman sat still, nervously smoothing the folds of her blue dress that hugged her body a little too tightly. Her name was Alina. Her heart raced not from excitement but from fear, fear of being judged, fear of being compared, fear of being rejected once again. When she saw him walk in, tall, confident, dressed in a black suit, her breath caught in her chest. She whispered to herself, almost as if rehearsing for heartbreak, "No one marries a fat girl." She didn't know that the man walking toward her, Adam, a self-made CEO, was about to prove her, and the world, entirely wrong. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and stories that touch the heart, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, Kindness Journal. Your small act helps spread positivity and love to more people who need it. Alina had spent most of her life fighting a battle no one could see. From school hallways filled with laughter that sometimes turned cruel, to college corridors where whispers followed her like shadows, she had learned to survive through silence. She was smart, kind, and creative, but every compliment was often followed by a "but." "You have such a pretty face, but maybe lose a little weight." Over time, those words became scars on her heart. She stopped believing she could be beautiful or worthy of love, just as she was. Her friends had convinced her to try something new, a blind date. "He's different," they said. "Just give it one chance." But as she waited at that table, her hands trembling around the glass of water, all she could think of were the rejections she'd faced before. Men who smiled politely but never called back. Men who made excuses after meeting her once. Men who saw her size before her soul. So, before Adam could say a word, she tried to protect herself the only way she knew, by lowering expectations. "No one marries a fat girl," she whispered with a forced smile, trying to make light of her pain before he could hurt her first. Adam didn't laugh. He didn't look away either. Instead, he smiled, not the kind that hides judgment, but one that carries warmth. "Let's prove them all wrong," he said softly, and something in his eyes made Alina pause. There was no pity there. Only respect. Only curiosity. As the evening unfolded, the conversation flowed effortlessly. Adam didn't talk about appearances, he asked about her dreams. He wanted to know what made her laugh, what inspired her art, and how she stayed strong in a world obsessed with perfection. For the first time in years, Alina felt seen, not for her body, but for her soul. When the night ended, Adam asked to see her again, and she hesitated, waiting for the usual hesitation that came from the other side. But he didn't flinch. "Same time tomorrow," he said. That night, Alina went home with a smile that reached her eyes, a feeling she hadn't felt in years, hope. Weeks turned into months, and the bond between them grew stronger. Alina began to open up, sharing her insecurities, her fears, the countless times she had been told to change who she was to be accepted. Adam listened, always reminding her that she didn't need fixing, the world did. Slowly, she began to believe him. She started dressing not to hide but to express herself. Her laughter grew louder, her shoulders straighter. For the first time, she started looking in the mirror and seeing someone worthy of love, not someone lacking it. But the world wasn't ready for them. When Adam introduced her to his corporate circle, whispers followed. "She's not really his type," some said behind forced smiles. "He could do better," others muttered at charity galas. Alina heard them, every word cutting like glass. One evening, after a particularly cruel comment, she broke down. "They're right," she said. "You don't have to defend me. I'm just an embarrassment for you." Adam held her close, his voice firm. "Do you think I built everything in my life by listening to what people think? I didn't choose you to impress the world, Alina. I chose you because you make it better." His words became her anchor. Together, they faced the judgment, the stares, the online comments when pictures of them surfaced on social media. Adam never wavered. When his company hosted its annual gala, Alina arrived by his side, radiant in a navy gown that shimmered under the lights. The whispers started again, but this time, she didn't bow her head. She smiled, the kind of smile that comes from knowing your worth. In his speech that night, Adam turned to her in front of hundreds of guests and said, "They told me success was about numbers, power, and image. But I learned it's about love, compassion, and courage." This woman, he said, looking at Alina, Taught me that strength isn't in perfection, it's in embracing who you are, flaws and all. The hall erupted in applause, but Alina could barely hear it. Tears blurred her vision as Adam walked toward her, knelt down, and pulled out a ring. Let's prove them all wrong, he whispered again. And she did what her heart had wanted to do the first day she met him, she believed. Their wedding wasn't about grandeur or luxury, though it had both. It was about triumph. About breaking the cruel stereotypes that had chained her spirit for so long. As she walked down the aisle, she saw faces that once doubted her now filled with awe. Not because she had changed, but because she had stayed herself and still found happiness. The ceremony was a quiet storm of emotions, joy, redemption, and an overwhelming sense of victory. In the years that followed, Alina used her story to inspire others. She started a foundation to help women battling body image struggles and societal judgment. She spoke at schools, companies, and seminars, reminding everyone that worth is not measured in size, shape, or approval, but in kindness, courage, and the capacity to love oneself. Adam supported her every step of the way, proud not just of the woman she was but of the impact she was creating. And yet, no matter how far they went, Alina never forgot that one sentence that started it all. No one marries a fat girl. It had once been her shield, a reflection of her pain. But now, it had become her message of defiance and empowerment. Every time she told her story, she smiled as she ended it with, "But someone did, and he proved the world wrong." If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that love sees beyond appearances, please like, share, and subscribe to Kindness Journal. Let's fill the world with stories that heal, inspire, and remind us that compassion is still the greatest force we have. And before you go, tell us in the comments below, have you ever judged yourself too harshly when the world should have been kinder? Your words might just help someone believe in themselves again.